To the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as well as the Bitcoin price prediction to $1 million per coin. That's right. Also, BlackRock, a Bitcoin ETF, reaches top 0.2% of all the ETFs so far this year. It's crazy how much Bitcoin they've been accumulating as of late. Also, as Plan B points out, 90% of all Bitcoin is in profit, the highest level since October's 2021 all-time high of 69,000. So shout out to my long-term hodlers. Also, breaking news, MicroStrategy just released their fourth quarter 2023 earnings report, announced they bought 37 million worth of Bitcoin, bringing their holdings to 190,000 BTC. That's right. So Michael Saylor's company now owns 0.9% of the total Bitcoin supply. And considering the fact there's roughly 6 million Bitcoin, which are mostly lost forever, they actually now own 1.26% of the total Bitcoin supply. Also in today's show, Beijing targets cryptocurrency mining operations and a new energy conservation plan. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin may be a few days away from igniting a pre-halving rally, according to top analysts. I'll be sharing his outlook, considering we do have a Bitcoin halving scheduled to take place in roughly 70 days. We'll also be discussing hedge fund veteran Anthony Scaramucci says Bitcoin will rocket to $170,000 after the halving. It even shares a $400,000 price target. I'll be discussing his timeline and when. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. Now, welcome crypto fam, what it do? Happy hump day, February 7th. Let me know if the stream is loud, clear, and smooth. First and foremost, shout out to everyone in that live chat. Bring Facts, Palm Beach Chris, Digital Dankness, Misha Wright, Crypto Pump It, Alice in Obscurity. Appreciate those smash likes. Pump the stream by pumping the likes. We appreciate it. Yo, Mo Money. Remember that In Living Color skit? Actually, there was actually a whole flick, I think, with Damon Wayans back in the day on that topic. Loud and clear. Send it, boss man. Appreciate your dankness. Shout out to the mods. Yamil Cruz, what it do? Good to see Juan Romero. Michael, the whale sailor. That's right. The one and only Giga Chad. It was just his birthday a couple of days ago as well. Blessings, JV. Blessings, Nipsey. What up, JV? Squirrel Bait, what it do? Welcome, the Dusty Hunt. Good to see you guys. Tackle that live finally. That's right. Welcome to the live. If this is your first live, let me know, guys. Let's rock versus the boys. That Lotch guy. Let's get it. And I appreciate all the members of the channel as well that have that sexy badge, which is a star next to your name. We appreciate all the support. Mr. Mac Cool, what up, family? Let's get it. That's right. We got a lot to discuss for today's contents, family.
Pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up.
We're still maintaining above 43,000, a beautiful thing, wouldn't you say?
You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up.
Yeah, pump the stream by pumping those likes. It'll pump the Bitcoin price. That's how we do it. What up, guys? What's good? First live, what's up? I appreciate that, Mr. Check, 1984. JV's 1983. B-Day, 4 days away. 99 kg, United Kingdom in the building. Cheers, family. Appreciate you tuning in to the live stream. Mr. Bone Daddy 500. Let's get it. Welcome, family. I hate to Samsung. Negative, sorry. Oh, what up, Crypto Surge? Good to see you guys. Pump it up. Don't you know? That's right, Jerome. We know.
Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know?
When 50 G's? When do you think we're going to hit 50 G's? Do you think that's going to happen here in February? Let me know. A solid base for the upcoming launch. Respect. 40 is the new 20. I don't see us going dropping below 40 leading into the halving. But if we did, take advantage of it. JB is going to finish his lap around the sun. You already know. I'm pumping, I'm pumping. That's right. Crypto Pump It. This is dedicated to you. Nice, Serge. Yeah, have drop your comments in the Rumble chat. We are streaming live right now on both YouTube and Rumble. It's a dual stream. And when the YouTube stream ends, in roughly 90 minutes to 2 hours, or no, very closer to 90 minutes. Then we'll continue with the uncensored version of the show, exclusive on Rumble. So I highly encourage everyone to be following me on Rumble. Moonwalker, patience, patience, and patience. Patience definitely is the key. Fake Toshi is in action. That's right, Yamil. We covered the story yesterday. Craig Wright, aka Fake Toshi, waiting for the lights to come on, freezing the house so the girls will get more color. What? Oh, I see. You're referring to your girls as in your plants. 100%. Early worm gets the dirt. Sell your ish coins and go all in on the King crypto. The only crypto that is the ish. There you go, Nate. Cheers, fam. 50K by your B-Day. I dig it. If we can hit 50 G's in the next 4 days, fantastic. That would absolutely be a blessing. Nice. Alan says, my daughter says she wants to go to Puerto Rico. Let's get that 100K. That's what's up, man. Definitely. We're going to make that happen. When we hit 100K, we're going to have the 100K fiesta. You and your daughter are invited. Looking forward to meeting you, Alan. Y'all not bullish enough. Remember, there is no second best. And speaking of there being no second best, here's some words from Sailor. Mr. Giga Chad, his company now has 190,000 BTC.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Preach. Buenas, JV. Buenas, Kuz Dog 66. What it do? Good to see you guys. My daughter turns 13 on Saturday. We are hitting PR this summer. That's what's up, Facts. You better reach out to me when you hit up PR. Well, definitely have to connect. And I'd love to introduce my daughter to yours. She's about to turn 10 in 4 days. Craig Wright comes out every bull run. He's basically the groundhog for the bull run. I like that, Nate. If Craig Wright looks in the mirror and sees Satoshi, it's officially the bull run. They need to make a movie on that. Just another fake out today. 31,000 incoming. You really think so? Delta Dog. How many of you believe that 31 is in the cards before we pump to new all-time highs? Let me know if anyone agrees with the Delta Dog. Holla.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura.
There you go. My stepson is 10. That's what's up, Squirrel Bait. There's always one bear in the group. I'm right behind MicroStrategy. Only 189,999 more to go. There you go. I'm a buyer. I dig it. Just need a new Harley Davidson out of this. Well, I'm sure you're going to get your new Harley Silva, BEFD. You already know, Facts. But anyways, fam, if you're new to the channel, be sure to smash the subscribe button to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day like this. Also important to hit the like. By pumping the like, it helps pump the stream. And our goal is to get to 100,000 subs alongside 100,000 Bitcoin price this year in 2024. And with your help, we can make that happen. Also, heads up. There's a bell notification. If you're not receiving notifications, very important to hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications. That way you get notified each and every day when I go live, because with my lifestyle, I typically change the time of each live. So if you don't have notifications turned on, you'll probably miss out. And it's good to have them turned on because you'll get an email notification, or at least you should, from YouTube. And you'll also be notified when you're on YouTube. So very important. And with that being shared, welcome to today's pod. This is pod episode number 1544. I'm your host, JV, and today is February 7th, 2024. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. We got Bitcoin pull back some today, down 0.5%, but maintaining above 43,100 at the time of the recording. And 43 has been holding strong for the past week. We have Ether back in the green, trading just under 2,400, along with BNB and Solana back in the green. Now we have XRP pretty much dead even, trading at 50 cents, and Cardano in the red, down roughly 3%. One of the biggest losers the other day was XMR Monero. It was down 30+%, and I heard they were delisting it from Binance, and that's probably why it was tanking. Today it's back in the green though, so we'll see how that plays out. As you know, Monero, one of the top privacy coins, if not the top. I think the others are like Zcash, And what's the other one? You guys let me know in the chat, but I remember there are a few others out there as well. Now, checking out coinmarketcap.com, we're sitting at a $1.66 trillion market cap with 42.5 billion in volume for the past 24 hours. Oh, the other privacy coin that was on my mind and I couldn't think of the name is Dash. Dash was, I remember a couple of cycles ago, like Dash was killing it, but privacy coins seem to be targeted by, the forces of evil / government / SEC and targeting exchanges. And I think they put political pressure on these exchanges in the form of lawsuits to delist some of these coins and go figure. But anyways, Bitcoin dominance is maintaining at 51% even. The Ether dominance is 17.2%, so virtually the same as yesterday. Not much movement there. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours, we do have Dimension up 54% on the day. Monero bounced back today 14%, as we mentioned earlier. Now has a market cap just shy of 2.4 billion. We also have Kaspa, Jupiter, Conflux, Wu, and Celestia. Which altcoins in particular, family, are you most bullish on for this bull run 2024-2025? Let me know in the comments, and later I'll read those out loud. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get a visual perspective on the day. We do have, quite a few respectable in the green with massive gains, including DYM 54%, COS 14%, Monero 15%, and Jupiter 13.5%. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. Let's see if I close this out for some reason. But yeah, we're currently rated a 62 in greed. Yesterday, 64. Last week, a 60. Last month, a 71 in greed. And checking out the Bitcoin halving clock, we only have 70 more days until the biggest event in crypto history, at least for the past previous 4 years, and potentially the biggest of all time. We don't know until it occurs. But again, 2 months out. 10 days, that's right around the corner. The estimated 2024 halving date is set to be April 17th, literally 70 days from today. So if you're pretty pumped about that, let me know. And before we dive into our Bitcoin TA, aka Astrology for Men, as well as Arthur Hayes's 1 million Bitcoin price prediction, let's check some of the chat. And if you're just joining us, be sure to say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from, because first and foremost, this is a live and interactive show, so keep that in mind. I remember when Coinbase only had Bitcoin, Litecoin, and ETH. Wow, the good old days. What year was that, Nate? That's crazy to think, because now there's probably hundreds of coins on these exchanges. TIA, Celestia, HNT, and OP. Thanks for sharing, Mr. Bone Daddy. Which alts you're bullish on right now, fam? It ain't going lower than 40,800, and if it does, it'll be quick bounce to 38.5. Those waiting for anything lower than that, well, train missers, says Mark. Right on, man. Respect. But Nance. Crypto Surge. I think British Hodl yesterday for him helping you, bro. Thank you, Surge. Shout out British Hodl and anyone that supported JV when I was unjustly terminated under false pretenses by the tube. But that's, I guess, the past. 2,100 coins, says Mike. Or what crypto you referring to, Mike? San Diego in the building. Shout out Data Bita. Good to see you, fam. My old stomping grounds. Nice. Dankness. LCX, Lincoln Render. RL Photo is bullish on. Good to note. Appreciate you sharing. Good stuff. What up, Jennifer? Good to see you as well. What's popping? What's new? Where are we going? February, man. I mean, this year is going to go by quick, I can tell. Hope your birthday is magical. You deserve only the best. Greatly appreciate that. Rachel, it will be magical because it's a double birthday. My daughter shares the same birthday as her father, which is incredible because you do the math. What is that? A 1 out of 365 chance of your child being born on your actual birthday, right? With 365 days out of the year. So what a blessing. Of course, we support you, JP. I appreciate that, Matthew. Binance pulls the plug on Monero. Did they officially do it? I saw the headline yesterday that they were delisting it, but it didn't say delisted. So I was curious. But go figure, because CZ stepped down and they replaced him with some corporate head that plays ball with the SEC. So naturally, probably whatever the SEC wants, they're going to get, especially with The initial founder, CZ, currently, I don't know if he's in jail right now or what the deal is, but they did, I think, arrest him, and he paid a $4.3 billion fine to the Department of Justice, one of the largest fines in history of fines, which is, interesting in of itself. My sister's B-Day too. No way, Alice. So we all share that same birthday. Shout out to your sister. Just low-lying neighborhoods here and there. Fingers are not working, says 99kg. Not too bullish on Binance. I used to live in Chula Vista. Nice. Right on the border, says Dankness. Hope y'all guys are doing well, family. Always. Appreciate it. Shout out to everyone just joining the stream. Pump the likes to pump the stream. I know I'm broadcasting a little early today. JV, please pronounce Binance correctly. I'm trying to do my best Janet Yellen impersonation. Every time I see Binance, I by default now say Binance. It's like the thing. Bitcoin will dump to 31 Tesla lows right before the halving, says Delta Dog. Then we'll pump. Just remember I said this. I will start buying at 34,000 all the way to 31. I have my strategy based on my TA. Right on, man. I hope you're correct for your sake, but at the same time, most TA charts are inaccurate. But anyways, if that did happen, it'd give the fam a great opportunity to accumulate more sats before BlackRock owns it all. You know what I mean? No riding with Biden. Good. 4 billion, I believe, will have gone to jail and wait for Trump to pardon me. Crazy, right? But you got to also keep in mind his net worth, CZ, went up tremendously in 2023. He's one of the richest people on the planet, let alone the richest in crypto. So, I mean, what's 4 billion if you're already worth, hypothetically speaking, 30 billion? You know what I mean? To avoid whatever legal consequences as a result of running his exchange, not abiding by whatever rules and regulations with the U.S. government. You know what I mean? Won't ever see 35 again. I'm also very doubtful, Mr. Check. Binance is on its way to say, according to Yellen. Solana Beach is where my friend owns the saddle bar. It's beautiful there. Oh, there's something called Solana Beach. Interesting. Wow. Every time I hear pump it up, I have an overwhelming urge to buy more Bitcoin. That's definitely a good thing.
Take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin.
I agree, Facts. I think Binance should be rebranded to Binance. And I think Janet Yellen should be the spokesperson, like the beautiful face behind the exchange. What do you guys think? Yahim, Sailor's still stacking Bitcoin. If he is bullish at 43,000, why can't I be? Precisely. Sailor knows Bitcoin's heading to a million, 10 million, 100 million. He said that several interviews, especially that one on the podcast he did with Patrick Bet-David. They asked him, where do you believe Bitcoin is going to do? Where is it going in your opinion? And he ultimately said without hesitation, $100 million per coin. We don't know by what year or time frame, timeline, but nonetheless, we all know it's going to go up forever, Laura. It's just a small world, and San Diego is one of those cities that is just big enough to where people recognize the name worldwide. That's right. That is so awesome. So you guys probably have a lot in common, says Serge. Yes. Imagine how crazy everyone would be if they released a locked CPE set of inflation. Yeah, right? But still small enough to be kind of cool. Yeah, shout out San Diego. Beautiful city to be. Definitely one of my favorite cities in California. One of the nicest, in my opinion. I have some friends actually that live out there as well. Good stuff, family. But anyways, let's dive into our astrology for men, aka technical analysis, and check out some of the charts where the price action is likely to take us next. Bitcoin's $1 million price tags are back as the U.S. regional banking sector dices with another crisis. Almost a year to the day that multiple banks, including crypto-focused Signature Bank, collapsed. Its buyer is down 60% year to date. That's right, deja vu. 1 year ago, Bitcoin started on a tear. It started out the year of 2023 at like 18,000. And within a few months, due to the regional banking crisis and people losing hope that their funds are safe at the bank and all the bank runs, it soared, and Bitcoin had a fantastic 2023. And what may end up being a peculiar dose of deja vu. Good choice of words. I was just thinking deja vu. Bitcoiners are witnessing what some say is in the early innings of a second U.S. banking crisis. So crypto fam, are you ready for round two? Holla at your boy. Coming close to the 1-year anniversary of the initial turmoil, the New York Community Bank Corp has seen the value of its stock plummet 30% in the past 5 days. Definitely not a good look. I mean, look at this chart on the daily for the New York Community Bank Corp. Closing at $4.20. Hey, happy 420. On February 6th, which was yesterday, data from TradingView showed that the bank's performance is raising alarm, and the fact it was NYCB that acquired the failed crypto bank Signature, interesting, last year and not lost on the Bitcoin circles. NYCB Bank, to its valuation from 1997, Benjamin Cohen, CEO and founder of the Cryptoverse, noted in a reaction, investor protection at its finest. Preach. And quoting the Kabisi letter, breaking, New York Community Bank stock, the bank that acquired the collapsed Signature Bank crashes yet another 25% today. The stock is now down a massive 61% in 2024 to its lowest level since June of 2000. And currently, roughly 40% of NYCB's assets are not under FDIC insurance. Ultimately means there is no insurance. Definitely not a good look. As it points out here in this chart, New York's Community Bank falls another 25% to its lowest level since 2000 and is now down over 60% this year in 2024. The real question is, did this regional banking crisis ever really end? Probably not. In roughly 1 month, the Fed's emergency loan program for regional banks will end, all while these banks hold 70% of outstanding CRE debt. Wow, so definitely not a good look. And in March of 2023, Bitcoin saw flash volatility as the regional banks began disintegrating in a domino effect, which eventually led to the Federal Reserve to step in with the Bank Term Funding Program. This has run for a year, but will not be renewed, something which Arthur Hayes, the former CEO of crypto derivatives giant BitMEX, believes will provide the backdrop to a repeat performance. Send it. At the time, the Bitcoin price action initially suffered amid the uncertainty before capitalizing on the situation. And as reported, Hayes sees a potential dip to 30,000 this March, followed by a copycat rebound. Now, NYCB's losses, combined with ratings agency Moody's cutting its status to junk, has additionally led him to repeat a $1 million Bitcoin price forecast, as he shares here. From junk to bankrupt, that's the future. And then more money printer go. Yeah, anyways, Bitcoin plays it cool. Continuing in the report, instability is not affecting the U.S. this month. China CSI 1000 index has lost $7 trillion since Q4 of last year, dropping 8% in a single day, February 5th, before rescue rumors saw it whipsaw higher. Bitcoin, still fresh from the flux created by the launch of the U.S. ETFs, has yet to demonstrate major price interest in these would-be macroeconomic triggers. Bitcoin now had remained in a clearly defined daily range for more than 150 days, as outlined right here on the Bitcoin 1-day chart. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Do you think we can drop to the 30,000 level as Arthur Hayes is predicting for a massive run-up for round 2 of a deja vu regional banking crisis, repeating one which probably never ended to begin with, and they just continue to, kick the can down the road. Let me know your thoughts. The Bollinger Band squeeze for a couple of more days than 50,000, predicts Jennifer. 50G, send it. The price of Bitcoin hasn't really changed since December 5th, 2023. Word up. Smash the likes. I appreciate that, Crypto Surge. It helps out tremendously.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right?
Yes, there is. So good for you, says Crypto Surge. Word. I like the food in the South. They take food serious in the part of the country, and it's good. What part of the South are we talking about here? Let me know which states you're referring to, family. Dylan, happy Lunar New Year. Happy Lunar New Year. Also big, I think end of the month. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Chinese New Year is right around the corner as well. That's big out there in Asia. I actually spent a year in China during Chinese New Year, and it felt like I was in the Iraq War. It was just felt like bombs going off because they are very, what's the word? They love celebrating with fireworks because, they invented the firework, and they have a lot of the word I'm looking for, but they just love embracing that fact. And so nonstop fireworks for about 3 weeks straight on Chinese New Year. Non-stop. You will get no sleep. It's a crazy time. And actually, I even went to Hong Kong on Chinese New Year, and I was expecting to be able to find a hotel. It was so busy. There were no hotels available. I think we had to rent probably one of the prostitution hotel rooms because you rent it by the hour. They didn't have any availabilities in the whole city of Hong Kong on Chinese New Year. So make sure you have reservations if you're traveling to Hong Kong during Chinese New Year. Biscuits and gravy. Yummy. You rock, JB, keeping it positive all the time. Appreciate you on Matrix. I wonder how AI and crypto will interact. I watched a Ahmed Massa vid yesterday, and we are on the cusp of something big. Yeah, you see also Tucker Carlson is out there in Russia. He's supposed to be releasing a exclusive interview with the Kremlin himself, Mr. Putin, which is going to be very interesting. I know the interview that Tucker did with Javier Milei broke all records, like something like 500 million views on X. So I would imagine one with Putin, potentially 1 billion views. So that's going to be pretty big. Powder is dry here. I would take collusion between BlackRock and Fidelity for Bitcoin to go to 30,000. Very possible. You know that's what they want. So hence what the government wants. They're on the same team. Some would say that BlackRock and the United States government are one and the same. What are your thoughts on that? Putin. Colorado up in here. Up in here. Shout out K-Jam. Good to see you guys. I live in Louisiana. You are correct, my friend. Nice, Envy. It's been a minute since I visited Louisiana. I will be buying Bitcoin when it dips. We're pumping right now, man. Good to see. Bitcoin 43.3. Right on time for the stream. 43.5 by the end of the show. Easy peasy, Zach. Send it. Can't wait for Tucker's interview. It's going to be historic. I think it's going to be great. Now, what are your thoughts on Milei, guys? Javier Milei, the new president of Argentina. I saw the photos where he's making out with the country he pledged his allegiance to. So I'm not so confident he is on our side. I think he is controlled opposition personally. But so is every leader versus Bukele that I'm aware of as far as presidential, political, and that includes Trump and everybody. We know who they pledge their allegiance to. And yeah, the government is either BlackRock or BlackRock controls the government. Exactly. The Beatles, bro. Rest in peace, John Lennon. And shout out to his son, Sean O'Lennon. I know he follows Crypto News Alerts. Much respect. Cautiously optimistic about Milei. Yeah, he's one of the World Economic Forum, unfortunately. So I'm pretty confident he is controlled opposition. And also the photos in which were released in that country, no one dare talk about, that every leader sells their soul to. 3 more days of the year of the for the year of the dragon. Nice. Let's go. Shout out Bruce Lee, by the way. But anyways, fam, we got a lot to cover. So let's dive into our next story of the day and discuss the latest with BlackRock, being we're already talking about it here in the chat. The headline reads, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF reaches top 0.2% of all the ETFs so far this year. And when they say all the ETFs, they're referring to all the ETFs. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF has made it into the top 0.16% of all the U.S. ETF products in the U.S., that is. The spot Bitcoin ETF topped $3.19 billion in inflows, according to a February 5th data from senior Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas, surpassed only by broad index funds tracking the S&P 500 and Vanguard's total stock market ETF. And screw Vanguard, by the way. Vanguard is the second largest asset manager in the world, next to BlackRock, and they're anti-Bitcoin, and they have nothing positive to say about Bitcoin, and they do not let their investors touch Bitcoin, hence why they don't have their own ETF, and they say they have no plans on starting their own ETF. But what is interesting about them is they're the largest shareholder of MicroStrategy. So you already know they have indirect exposure to Bitcoin, even though they preach the same stance as Merrill Lynch and Bank of America. Bitcoin is an index for money laundering and all that FUD, which we know is not true. Quoting Balchunas, got our first hodler reported for IBIT. It is a Canadian asset manager called Redwood. Looks like it sold the local purpose Bitcoin ETF, which is 1% fee, and bought the US-based IBIT, which is free till the first 5 billion and 25 BPS thereafter. Great cost migration hitting the crypto funds. He also pointed out, also IBIT now is top 5 in YTD flows. I'm going to guess that stands for year to date. Yes, which means it has taken in more cash than 99.98% of the ETFs. Not bad for 17 days old. That's phenomenal. And according to data from YCharts, BlackRock's ETF flows so far placed in the top 0.16% of the ETFs when weighed against the 3,109 ETFs currently trading in the United States. So there you have it. There's a total of 3,109 ETFs. And I bet you a lot of those are BlackRock's, or BlackRock controlled some way, somehow, as they have their hands in everything, family. Balchuna has arrived at a slightly different figure of 0.02%, which appears to measure BlackRock's ETF performance against an estimated 10,000 ETFs worldwide. So now you know there's roughly 10,000 ETFs around the world. Fidelity's Bitcoin fund is also a top performer with $2.5 billion, placing it 8th amongst the US-based ETF products. Fidelity is one of the top asset managers in the world. I hear they control roughly $4.5 trillion in assets under management, and they've been bullish on Bitcoin since back in as far as 2014, and they don't hide that fact. In fact, their head of macro, Jurrien Timmer, I've shared this prediction numerous times on the show throughout the years, is predicting a $1 billion Bitcoin price prediction, I think by the year 2038, which is another 14 years from now. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that prediction. It's one of the most bullish predictions we've ever covered. The BlackRock and Fidelity Bitcoin ETFs continue to climb the list, having stood at 8th and 10th position at the end of January. It's worth noting that while the total flows of other US ETFs are being counted from January 1st of 2024, the spot Bitcoin ETF products were only approved for trading January 11th. This means that the Bitcoin ETFs are at a 7 trading day handicap when compared to all the other products. Now, BitMEX research data shows a widening gap between BlackRock and Fidelity spot Bitcoin ETFs against the 7 other spot Bitcoin ETFs in inflows. ARK 21 shares in Bitwise are 3rd and 4th amongst spot Bitcoin ETFs with 683 mil and 663 mil in accumulated flows, according to a February 5th data from BitMEX research. And as I shared in yesterday's episode, just collectively between the two asset giant juggernauts, Fidelity and BlackRock, they now collectively hold roughly 138,000 Bitcoin, and they achieved that in less than a month. Crazy, right? Imagine another year or two from now how many millions of Bitcoin these asset managers will hold. Like, for real, for real. Invesco, Galaxy, and Valkyrie are the other Bitcoin ETF issuers that have recorded over 100 mil in total flow, while Wisdom Tree remains in last place with just a 11.1 million. And at this time, net flows into all 10 spot Bitcoin ETFs stand at roughly 1.5 billion since the products first began trading roughly a month ago. And as shared here, in terms of the race, BlackRock is well in the lead. BlackRock, 3,100, I guess, let me say these numbers right because M means million, so I guess that means billion. 3.194 billion. Fidelity is 2.5 billion, and ARK is 684 million. So there you have it, family. Do you think they're going to slow down anytime soon, or do you think they're just going to continue accumulating like madmen? Personally, I think it's the latter. Meanwhile, Grayscale's converted spot Bitcoin ETF, the GBTC product, recorded its 6th successive day of shrinking outflows at 73 million February 6th. According to BitMEX research and Bloomberg ETF analyst Mr. Safeheart, inflows from the other Bitcoin ETF issuers are now consistently outpacing outflows from Grayscale's GBTC for at least 7 consecutive days, as he outlines here on X. The latest figure is down 88% from Grayscale's worst day of outflows, January 22nd, which saw 640 mil exit the newly converted ETF. And quoting Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model, 90% of all the Bitcoin is in profit. This is the highest level since October 2021, all-time high. That's right. So this is a pretty big deal. So congratulations to all my Bitcoin hodlers. Though we still got quite a ways to climb from 43,000 to reclaim 69,000 and re-enter price discovery mode. It's good to note that 90% of all Bitcoin hodlers are in profit. So congratulations to my diamond hands and all my long-term hodlers. Where you at? So there you have it, family. And before we dive into our next story of the day and discuss MicroStrategy, sitting on now 190,000 Bitcoin with their latest purchase, let's check the comments. Nug shots up. Nice, Facts. If anyone wants to see nug shots from Facts' babies, make sure to check out our Discord. We have a chat in our Discord dedicated to cannabis. So for you guys that are into that, be sure to check it out. OG Backroad Crypto Bootleg, what up? Can we rock? What's up, Doc? You already know. Just think about it. Since Bitcoin has been booming, we haven't had no big correction. Moves are coming exactly. It's going down. Good point, Jordan. That's right. Can't sell weed. Can sell seed. We'll take sats. Who says money doesn't grow on trees? And who says you can't have your cake and eat it too? I mean, if you're going to be served cake, you might as well eat it. Right? Yeah, 3 more blue dots first, says Unmatrixed. Wu-Tang Clan posted on Instagram a fighting scene with Bruce Lee and Bolo that I never seen. It was pretty cool. So you're not talking about the Bolo Bruce Lee scene from Enter the Dragon. You're talking about a different one? Good to note. Wu-Tang Clan posted on Instagram a fighting scene with Bruce Lee and Bolo. That's what's up. Bolo is like, for those who don't know, he's the guy with the humongous chest, unlike any other Asian we've ever seen in the old school Kung Fu flicks. And in Enter the Dragon, he was like the main villain on Han's Island. And he'd always be shaking his titties like this. You know who I'm talking about. Sailor weed equals more BTC, says XX. Shout out Muhammad. What's good, family? I saw there was some sort of partnership with your boys out in Saudi. It wasn't Bitcoin related though. It was another project, but it was like an investment partnership. I saw in the headlines, but I don't have it in front of me. If you have any insights on that, please do let me know. And I appreciate the insights on the Bruce Lee scene from the Wu-Tang Clan. I'll have to check that out as well. So who from the Wu-Tang Clan posted it? Or is there a Wu-Tang Clan specific account? I'm curious. Also in Bloodsport. Oh, that's right. Van Damme movies. Bolo was in them as well. That is correct. He makes for a great villain, man. He looks like, you know what I mean? Like I said, not many Asians practicing Kung Fu look like that. Because he is actually bench pressing heavy weight. And that's not a typical type of workout for a martial artist, back in the day at least. Now is a different ball game. They all lift weights. UFC, strength and conditioning. That's before FOMO. Trez a day. How many Trezors do you need? The more the merrier. They make for great gifts as well. So you can't have too many. If you have too many, you can just gift them away. And be like, hey, I gave you 100,000 sats. And you could see if someone's worthy of that Bitcoin. Wait, do that titty thing again? My wife missed it. First Blood is the movie Bolo and Van Damme. Oh, First Blood. Okay. Thank you, family. Dylan, it's been probably 20 years since I seen that flick. Now I'm anxious to recheck it out. I got 2 empty ledgers. Nice. It's good to always have a backup because if something happened to a particular wallet and you have the recovery seed, you're going to need a device to recover it on. And if you don't have a spare device, you're not going to be able to recover it. You'd have to first order a new one and wait for it to come. And by that time, if, who knows? It's never over. That's right. It's never over. I second that. Where is our mascot? He's downstairs with grandma because grandma was feeding him. So he's probably on a walk right now. But trust he'll come up here when he can. Nipsey's living his best life right now. And I shouldn't say grandma because I refer to her grandma because I'm always with my daughter, but it's my mom. So my mom's visiting and fed him earlier and probably walking him right now. Can 2 Trezors be the keys to 1 wallet? Yeah, so Nip's probably outside on a walk with grandma or with my mom who's visiting. Yeah. So otherwise he would be in the same room because he follows me no matter where I go. What up, Mars? Welcome, welcome. But anyways, let's dive into our next story of the day, shall we? We discussed the latest with BlackRock. Now let's discuss MicroStrategy. They just released their earnings report for the fourth quarter of 2023, and they announced another purchase, and they're now sitting on like 190,000 Bitcoin, which is pretty awesome, as you can see here. MicroStrategy, the largest publicly traded holder of Bitcoin and the first to put Bitcoin on the balance sheet, says it acquired an additional 850 Bitcoin in January, bringing its total holdings to 190,000 Bitcoin, now worth north of $8.1 billion. That's pretty epic. In the fourth quarter of 2023's earning call, February 6th, the business software firm's chief financial officer, Andrew Kang, said it acquired 56,650 Bitcoin throughout 2023 at an average price of 33,580. Now, some of you back in that time, why would he buy at the top at 33,000? Well, guess what? It's now the following second month of 2024, and Bitcoin's at 43,000. So it looks like it worked out for the Giga Chad, right? So don't be too short-sighted when it comes to Stack and Sats, family. Some of you guys are so stuck on the current price action, you're not envisioning where we're going in the next couple of years and where the cycle peak is likely to take us. So in my opinion, buying at 43,000, 33,000, 20,000, 50, 60,000 is kind of all irrelevant. The major picture is Stack and Sats, because when we're sitting at 250,000, you're going to be like, whoa, it really didn't matter buying at 43 or 40 or 50. It's all gains at the end of the day, right? Now, overall, MicroStrategy posted a net income of $89.1 million compared with a loss of almost $250 million in 2022. Good Lord. The company's revenue decreased 6% to $124 million within the same time frame, according to their February 6th earnings statement. MicroStrategy's executive chairman, Michael Saylor, said its 2023 performance could be attributed to investors recognizing the broader theme of digital transformation of assets.
Right? There's no second best, okay? But take all your money, buy Bitcoin, then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin.
2024 is the year of the birth of Bitcoin as an institutional grade asset class. In fact, it's the first new asset class of the modern era. Quoting Saylor, the next 15 years will be a regulated institutional high growth period for Bitcoin, very different from the last 15 years. In December of 2020, as I mentioned earlier, MicroStrategy became the first publicly traded company to purchase Bitcoin for capital allocation. And since then, the company's share price has grown by more than 300%, while tech stocks such as Microsoft and Google have grown around 90%. And I'm curious if any of you actually hold any MSTR stock. Let me know. Saylor added the arrival of the spot Bitcoin ETFs have been a catalytic moment, taking Bitcoin from a medium of exchange to a store of value, something he said weakens past criticisms of the asset for failing to function as a currency. Quoting him again, we don't need to address any of the currency criticisms anymore. Simply, as a store of value, there's no reason Bitcoin can't continue to outperform and 100x from where it is right now. So he just recently said that again, reiterating one of the predictions I shared earlier, 100x. Can someone run the math? 43,000 times 100 and put that in the live chat. Thank you. And while the crypto market pundits have shared concerns, the Bitcoin exchange traded product providers such as BlackRock and Fidelity would gnaw into MicroStrategy's market share. Saylor seemed unconcerned by the encroachment by traditional finance firms. He said MicroStrategy would continue to create software and work alongside Bitcoin developers on Bitcoin-based layer 2 networks, along with other ecosystem participants, to increase the firm's revenue in the coming years. Saylor closed out the earnings call by saying that MicroStrategy would continue to purchase more Bitcoin. What a G. And as pointed out here, Saylor owns 0.9% of the total Bitcoin supply. I've heard him say his goal for MicroStrategy is to own 5% of the Bitcoin supply, which means another million Bitcoin being hodled and purchased up. And also considering the fact roughly 6 million Bitcoin are most likely lost forever, he actually owns closer to 1.26% of the total Bitcoin supply. So there you have it, my crypto fam, and some more words from Mr. Saylor.
Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell.
Thank you, Jennifer. So that figure is 3 million per coin, 100x from 43,000. I should have known better because we just add some zeros to the end of the number we're looking at on the screen. But appreciate it. 4.3 million per coin. If you can foresee that happening, put a 1 in the chat. I don't care what year. I'm just saying if you can foresee it happening in your lifetime. 4.3 million per coin. Put a 1 in the live chat. If you think Sailor's lost his mind and just crazy and it's unreasonable as far as a Bitcoin prediction in the future, give me a 2. I want to see where you guys stand on that. I always refer my dad and mom as a grandpa and grandma now because my son's precisely Coos Dog. It's just exactly nieces and nephews. Do we get to meet Mama JB? I've asked her a few times, and I don't think she really wants to. K-Jam put a 1. Silas put a 1. Juan, 1. Nice. So you guys are firm believers. Bitcoin's going to smash 4.3 mil. I love it. If you love the thing you don't want to sell,
go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business that's in your family for 37 years, and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth, which is Bitcoin.
Bada boom, bada bing. Muhammad put a 2. So what are your thoughts, Muhammad? Clue me in. Why not? Bitcoin hit 4.3 mil. Do you see it capping out at a certain level and crashing? Or what's your hypothesis behind the theory? Let me know. I still love him. Bitcom is breaking from the triangle pattern. Oh, Bitcoin. There you go. 43.4. We're still moving north. Someone said earlier during the stream we were going to hit 43.5. We're very close now, $90 away. There's the Nippinator. You guys were asking for the mascot. He's in the building. Sailor, it's going up forever, Laura. That's right. Look at that nip. Bitcoin's pumping. Juan, 1, uno más. 4.2 mil Senate, 1.5. What does 1.5 mean? High? Maybe it means you're high. Could handle 100x from here. 100%. I know I can handle it. By the time Bitcoin is 4.5 million per coin, we're going to have, wow, I'd say 20 million subscribers. Bring it. Rising wedge on the 1 hour. Nice. Yeah, 43.5 clearly incoming. Look how fast it's shooting up right now. Probably by our next story is finished, it'll be there. So let's aim for 44,000 on the stream by the end of the Q&A. Deal? Everyone saying hi to the Nippinator. Bitcoin. 4.2 mil. Sounds sexy. Got a special ring to it. Puppy 555. Easy. Send it. Yeah, easy peasy. Anyways, let's dive into our next story of the day. We discussed MicroStrategy increasing their bags like they always do. Now let's discuss this story. I haven't had a chance to read it. I just saw the headline, want to include it, see what's going on in China right now, as it's, I think, the largest population on the planet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it should be China. It's probably like 2 billion people out there. What's the global population? I would speculate is maybe 8 billion, which means 1/4 of the population's in China. And I could be wrong because India may even have a higher population than China, but it's up there is my point. Anyways, the headline reads, Beijing targets crypto mining operations and new energy conservation plans. Let's check this out. The city of Beijing, how many of you have been to Beijing? Let me know. I've been there many times. Has revealed a new set of policies aimed at enhancing energy conservation, tackling several activities which measures focus on the end. This document states that the city considers energy conservation a key area to strengthen the conservation of energy resources and a requirement for building an ecological civilization. Crypto mining is included amongst activities that will be policed specifically to promote carbon reduction, pollution reduction, and the expansion of green energy alongside construction, transportation industry, and information tech. On the actions that will be taken regarding the crypto mining activities, Beijing states it will continue to do a good job in rectifying virtual currency mining activities, strengthening and monitoring, analysis, and classified rectification of mining activities, and resolutely clean up the city's virtual currency activities. Now, these actions are supported by the national policy that imposed the blanket ban on crypto mining and trading back in 2021, when the People's Bank of China instructed all of China's banks to forbid crypto-related activities immediately. Nonetheless, even with this ban, recent reports revealed that Bitcoin mining is still happening in China, with Chinese miners providing 21% of the global network hash rate behind the US, which leads with 38%. So isn't that interesting? Even though they banned it in their country not too long ago, they now have 21% of the hash rate. That's very interesting. Beijing's plan also contemplates inspections in energy consuming units in the city to supervise the usage of phased out equipment due to the energy requirements. These inspections can lead to punishment for the illegal use of energy, as the city's government will take action to force industries and companies to rectify these issues. So it's good to see that China really is bullish on Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, as they control over 20% of the global hash rate in the Bitcoin network. And I don't think that's going to slow down. What are your thoughts, family? 555 put 21%. And wow, we're only $50 away from 43.5. Let's go. India is around 100 million people, according to Alexa, and China's over 1 billion. Oh, so China is way bigger then. Good to note. Yeah, 1 billion people in one country. Like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, we have been talking about mainland China. We're talking about Hong Kong. No, because Hong Kong is not part of the mainland. That's near Macau. And it kind of has its, they even have a different language. Hong Kong is traditional China. Like back in the day, China spoke Cantonese, and then the Chinese Communist Party made Mandarin like the dominant language. And now in mainland China, they don't even speak Cantonese. You only hear Cantonese out in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is governed by different policies and regulations and things of this nature. So, and Hong Kong has more freedom as well. Like, I believe Hong Kong is a superior place to live if you like and respect freedoms. Mainland China, there's not much freedom as far as whatever the government tells you, you must do, because they enforce the laws. And if you break those laws, punishment is severe. I've heard stories of if you got caught smoking the magic dragon, you know what I mean? In China, they'll shoot you. And then they'll send you the bullets and invoice your family type of ish. It's pretty severe, right? So that's why I'm not so fond in the Asian countries, because most of the laws on cannabis are considered, there's like no difference between cannabis, a plant that grows naturally that God gave us, and like real narcotics and drugs where you got to mix and use formulas to create, you know what I mean? So that's kind of wild to me. But I heard in Thailand now they have medical cannabis like dispensaries and stuff, and that it's actually legal. So that's a good thing. But every time I would travel to any Asian country, I'm always like paranoid in the back of my mind, like, whoa, you know what I mean? Wrong. India is 1.4 billion. Well, thank you for the correction, because I thought India had a pretty large population. So according to Jerome, India has 1.4 billion and China 1.38 billion. So they're kind of close, roughly 1.5 billion. So collectively, we're talking 3 billion people between two countries, China and India. That's pretty wild. JB is pumping the Bitcoin price. Let's give him the support by pumping the likes. Appreciate that. 43.5 incoming, 20 bucks away. Shout out Dankness. Appreciate you guys. And that's right, you can become a member of the channel for as little as $2.99 per month, and you can support the movement. You'll get a badge next to your name with that star, just like Digital Dankness and Jennifer and a lot of the fam have. Bobby Digital, we appreciate your support. Shout out to all the members, Huddle Gang in the building. Thailand about to re-legalize. Nice. Shout out to Thailand, by the way. If I was to pick a Asian country to live in, it'd be Thailand. Bali was pretty lit too, but for some reason, Thailand's in my heart. Maybe because it's a Buddhist culture, and I like Buddhist culture. I love visiting the temples. The people are just so respectful. You got to love the people. So friendly, so kind. Just good vibes overall. Like all the cities I visited in Thailand. China overstated its population. Its provinces overstated by decades for a number of reasons. Good to note, Silas. Thailand changed their weed policy. So when did they change it? I read like a year or two ago, they legalized, not recreational, but medical. And I thought that was kind of cool. Milos, what it do? Hello, fam. Shout out Dirty Bird. I appreciate you subbing to the channel. We just surpassed 43.5, 44 incoming. Send it. Pump the likes to pump the stream. We'll keep this momentum jumping. Countries by population. How did you manage to be so worldly and travel so much, JB? Did your parents move? No, I kind of just did the gypsy spirit thing. I was a hippie back in the day. When I became old enough I moved to Costa Rica as an adult, young man, and I spent a few years there, and then I started traveling from there, and I started making money on the internet. And with the ability to make money on the internet, you can live anywhere in the world. And I thought that was cool. Prior to that, I owned a real estate appraisal firm. And even though I did well, I was basically, I had to service and actually show up and inspect properties and write reports. So it didn't give me the luxury to travel and live the lifestyle of a freedompreneur, which is a term I really like. And so being able, once you figure out how to make money online, location is irrelevant, because now you can live anywhere in the world. You can, for example, just like running a podcast would be an example of making money online. But back then I didn't run a podcast. But nonetheless, bigger picture, if you can figure out how to make money online, you can travel anywhere in the world. Location's irrelevant. You can just travel. And that's precisely what I did. Been to like over 30 countries. I've lived in various different countries, different parts of the world. For me, it was all about getting the experience, understanding cultures outside the United States, because there's a whole world out there. And so many people never leave their home country. And I think that's a shame. I think we are meant to explore and learn things on our own versus the propaganda they teach us in the news. Got the member milestone. Will Smith that like button. Thank you, Dirty Bird. Greatly appreciate you becoming a member now for over a month. Greatly appreciate the support. Feast or famine? Construction. Question, JV. Everyone's forecasting for Bitcoin to be finished by 2140. The way people are buying Bitcoin now, do you think it'll be sooner? No, because it's already programmed in the protocol, from my understanding, Serge. So the last Bitcoin will be mined. You know, every 4-year halving, it's like less, it gets cut in half. So it's going to be like most of the supply is already circulating. We're probably close to 19 million right now, but it's going to be less and less and less and less. And then finally, by 2140, the final Bitcoin will be mined. And could you imagine where the price is going to be at that time? But also, just to clarify, it doesn't mean Bitcoin is over. It just means the mining rewards are over, because all of the Bitcoin will be revealed, meaning there'll be nothing left to mine. Ultimately, there can only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, right? So all 21 million Bitcoin will completely be in circulation, minus the lost and stagnant Bitcoin, which will never move. And some are projecting that's already 6 million. So if you run the math, 21 million minus 6 is 15 million. So there may only ever be 15 million Bitcoin in circulation, which means your Bitcoin in self-custody is only going to be worth that much more, especially the way things are going in the world. I've been all over the US, but only a few miles in Canada, explored Mexico a little. Mexico is a fun place. I'm looking forward to revisiting there, potentially this month or next month, actually. Thoughts on the Grateful Dead? I think they were before my time. I know there were people in school who listened to those classics. I just personally never really listened to the Grateful Dead, but all the cool people I knew listened to it, so I'm sure it's good music. I missed the golden age. Me, I was into the hip hop, so I grew up on like Tupac, Biggie, DMX, Wu-Tang Clan. Like that was my generation. I loved Jada Kiss. I still listen to Jada. But yeah, so for me, it was mostly hip hop. So it'll be about the rewards for the transactions, says Laser A. You want to go to the Middle East and North Africa. There's a lot of places I have yet to travel, which I'm looking forward to going. I still never been to the Middle East. I'd love to visit Dubai, places like that. Maybe Abu Dhabi, Qatar would be cool to visit. Saudi Arabia would be awesome. Also, I've never been to Africa, never been to that continent yet. Many countries to visit there, South Africa. What else? Where else do I want to visit? Alaska, if they'd allow JV there. JV? But not Alaska, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Antarctica because you can't go there. No one talks about how some of what used to be pristine are now loaded with all kinds of litter, mostly plastics. Yeah, man, that's sad. I mean, the Earth clearly has a serious pollution problem. And if you ever visit China, you'll see how serious it is. Because the city I lived in, at nighttime, you couldn't see a single star. You can barely identify the moon because of the smog. That's how severe the pollution is in some parts of the world. VBNR, appreciate your sub, family. Qatar is the #1 airport. Nice. By the way, that guy doesn't really look like Tupac. Appreciate the feedback. The two main things, three things, the same exact height, the bottom teeth, the same crooked teeth, and the scar above the eye were three things that I identified that I'm like, whoa, remarkably similar. Egypt was great in the 80s. Is it no longer great to visit? I'd love to see the pyramids. I haven't been there yet. Be careful in Mexico. I've been there many times. I've never had any problems. I'm a man of the people, so I don't worry. I don't stunt at the same time. It's not like you're going to go to a country in high poverty and flex. You know what I mean? I'll be rocking a tank top or a jersey, doing my thing. I probably won't even be wearing a Bitcoin hat. It'll just be generic. No one will know who I am. That was Tupac for sure, says K-Jam. Word. Wu-Tang was the first show I ever saw. Man, my first concerts as well. Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. I lived near Tampa, Florida, and every time they come to Tampa or Orlando, I'd be at the concerts. I met Method Man and Redman back in the day. That was epic. I went to an after party with them, played some video games with the Outlaws. That was the group that actually Eminem was a part of back in the day. This is way back. Yeah. I'm sorry I'm late. No need to be sorry. Rambosito. All good in the hood. I cannot comment on Rumble for some reason. Can you save the question for later? Biggie was killed by Diddy or did he? Just remind me if I forget because I get so many questions. But yeah, it's not something I really want to discuss on the tube for obvious reasons. But fair game on Rumble, uncensored version. Right on, K-Jam. Cheers. Yeah, Bitcoin's still pumping. Again, 44,000 incoming. Pump the likes to pump the stream. We're going to now discuss, now we finished discussing the China mining. Let's discuss this pre-halving rally, which could be right around the corner any day now. I think maybe it's starting right now. We're 43.5, man. Let's go. Yeah, headline reads, Bitcoin may be a few days away from igniting a pre-halving rally. Here's an outlook from analyst Rec Capital. He shared on X that Bitcoin is about to re-enter its pre-halving rally phase based on historical data. According to the analyst, historical data suggests that the Bitcoin price action tends to go through 5 stages. Based on its halving, an event when its issuance of the new Bitcoin miners is cut in half, with the next halving slated for April 18th-ish. Rec Capital believes the Bitcoin is now transitioning from its pre-halving retrace to its pre-halving rally, as he shares here alongside the chart. If history is any indication, then Bitcoin should begin its pre-halving rally as soon as next week. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. And maybe we're seeing it right now. Looking at that chart, he seems to suggest Bitcoin will witness one more round of reaccumulation after the pre-halving rally before entering a parabolic uptrend that can send Bitcoin rallying well above 90,000. Well, I'll tell you this. By the time Bitcoin is 90,000, we will have our 100K fiesta in Puerto Rico scheduled to celebrate. Because we can go from 90,000 to 100,000 in a matter of 24 hours, especially when we're ripping, family, in price discovery mode. Now, for now, Rec Capital thinks the Bitcoin is in a good position to break above its immediate resistance at around 43.8 after touching the level multiple times over the past couple of months. As he shares here, rejected from the range high, which you can see in the red here in the chart, last week, forming an upside wick and a new lower high. However, despite last week's range high rejection, Bitcoin is attempting to revisit the range high this week. If this strength persists, one could think the range high resistance is weakening. Let me know if you agree. The analyst also notes that Bitcoin appears to be gathering the bullish momentum after the Bitcoin RSI, relative strength index indicator, broke above its diagonal resistance to invalidate a potential bearish divergence signal on the weekly chart. A bearish divergence typically appears when the RSI momentum indicator entered a downtrend while the asset's price keeps going up. The signal suggests that a bearish reversal is in sight amid waning bullish momentum. Quoting Rect, the new capital close-in is in the Bitcoin RSI, which has successfully broken its downtrend, which you can see in the red, suggesting the bearish divergence has been invalidated. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Are we going to see this pre-halving rally potentially within the next 5 days? Holla at your boy. And can you see us pumping to 95,000 here in the short term? Let me know your honest thoughts. Pump up the jam. Pump it up. There we go. 43.7, fam. We called it. I'm telling you. 44.4 incoming. Done deal. Love it. Bukele hat, then. Yeah, man. Much respect to Bukele. Diamond hands all the way. Wow, I thought China was clean. Not China ain't clean. Now, don't get me wrong. There's cities that are beautiful in China, which are going to be way cleaner than others. Maybe like Shanghai, maybe some of the cities in the south. I forget the name of the cities I like. But nonetheless, the city I lived in was the old capital of China. And the city name is Taiyuan, not to get it confused with Taiwan, something totally different, Taiyuan. And it's also the coal capital of China. So naturally, if you're living in the coal capital of China, where they burn all the coal, is going to be massively polluted. And it was polluted so bad that people all wore masks on the streets. Why? Pollution. This is way before COVID, right? Because if you don't wear the mask, your nose, your snot box, your boogers are going to be black, literally black by the end of the day. And if you're rocking a white shirt, it's going to be gray by the end of the day. That's how severe the pollution is. I can pretty much guarantee you the life expectancy in that city is probably 1 to 2 decades less because of the severe pollution. I'm speculating here, but it wouldn't surprise me. I lived 1 year in that crazy city. Don't ask why. Young and crazy, maybe a little ignorant, but I had fun, and it is what it is. 43.7, that's right, Robert. 40,000 incoming. There you go, Shenzhen. That's the city I actually like in the south, because when I went to Hong Kong, we flew into Shenzhen, and it was actually nice, and there were suburbs, and there's actually plants and stuff like that, which you don't see in some of the other cities. So Shenzhen, definitely one of my faves. It's one of the third assets that come to Bitcoin. It'll only be 750,000 per Bitcoin. And yes, of course, Shanghai is the financial capital of China. Also very nice out there. I lived in Shanghai in 2014. I saw the blue sky 2 to 3 times per month. Wow. Even in Shanghai then. The rest of my time, my iPhone showed sunny, but the pollution was so crazy, the sky was gray. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Because you got to think, there's like there's billions of cars. They're not health conscious, and they burn the trash in the streets. How do they get rid of the trash? They literally burn it. So anytime I'd be walking home from, teaching English from the school and the mall to like my apartment, it's like you got to smell trash. It's disgusting. And they're always burning stuff. It's wild. Would love to see 44,000 today. Me too. And we're so close. We're only 300 away. So very probable. Let's see how high we go. The JV effect. I dig it. The pumpage. Why would anyone dump their Bitcoin? Noobs, rookies, people that maybe actually believe Jim Cramer and Janet Yellen and Gary Gensler and the rest of them. I've been to Shanghai twice. Did you go to Bundy? I don't even know what Bundy or Bund is. No, I've never been there. Went for a nap and wake up. Nice. Smash the likes. There's no second best. Appreciate it. Just caught up on the live. Just got back from a Thai for lunch. Nice. That's what's up. Do you Rwanda? I don't know what that means. Rwanda, like from the movie Black Panther? What do you mean by that? I meant to say if 1/3 of the world assets come to Bitcoin, it'd only be 750,000 per coin. I disagree with that. You're saying if 1/3 of all the assets in the world in the total addressable market, man, I can see like 100 million Bitcoin by then. So you can only see 750,000. At least you gave me an explanation. So thanks for sharing. Banance, you already know. Oh, Rwanda is a country. Right, in Africa, correct? Do you any chance to come in? No, I've never been there, family. I'd love to visit. Is that where you're from? Let me know. Pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. We got to pump it up. But anyways, family, let's dive into our featured story of the day. Anthony Scaramucci predicts 170,000 per Bitcoin post-halving here in the short term and 400,000 as well, bullish scenario. So I want to break this down for you as we continue our pump, as we're now trading above 43,500, 44,000 incoming. Send it. Let's get it. And welcome everyone just joining the stream. Pump the likes to pump the stream. We appreciate that. Hedge fund veteran Anthony Scaramucci says Bitcoin will skyrocket to 170,000 after the halving. I'm going to be explaining why. But first, I want to read something which I transcribed from an interview in which he shared, which I shared here on X. So he asked the question, what does Bitcoin look like at 1 billion users? And here's what he had to say. I'm going to be very simplistic. A Bitcoin users is roughly 8x more than we are right now. Bitcoin, I actually think we're undervalued and technically oversold here. So I would have thought the Bitcoin would be where we are in terms of users at 50,000. So the intrinsic fair value to me would be about 400,000 per Bitcoin. I'll add 1 billion users because, again, you have fixed supply and you've got less than 21 million coins out there. You and I both know that the mining finishes in the year 2140, but you've also lost coins, which they say could be 6 million, family. In the process of adoption, we probably got 2 to 3 million coins that have been misplaced. They can be in a landfill. They can be on an old BlackBerry or somebody's laptop, like Alex Jones, back from 2010, and as a result of which you probably have about 18 million coins in the universe. These are 48 million millionaires, or there are, on planet Earth, according to JP Morgan. Well, there's only 18 million Bitcoins in existence. You don't even have enough Bitcoin for every millionaire on the planet Earth to earn 1 coin or to own 1 coin. So you can't tell me that the scarcity properties of this are not going to drive the prices higher. And he makes a great point there. Not even half the millionaires currently on the planet can become a whole coiner. And we start to factoring in all the lost Bitcoin, which are lost and gone forever. There's very minimal amount of Bitcoin to go around. And now you have game theory in effect where everyone's looking to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. And we're seeing that play out in real time with the Bitcoin ETFs, such as BlackRock, Fidelity, etc. So yeah, Scaramucci believes that Bitcoin could witness a conservative rally of over 300% in the coming months. Keyword, conservative. In an interview with Scott Melker, the hedge fund veteran, says that it would not be out of the ordinary for Bitcoin to skyrocket to 170,000 per coin after its upcoming halving in April, roughly 70 days out, when the miner rewards get cut in half yet again. And according to the Mooch, data shows the Bitcoin tends to print a cycle top that's 4x higher than the halving price. So, quoting him here, you mentioned my 170,000 prediction. That's a data-dependent prediction. Go back and look at Bitcoin's halving cycles. That day that Bitcoin has, multiply it by 4 18 months later, and it's been uncanny. That's been the price of Bitcoin. I'm using a $35,000 number at the halving, and that's conservative. Let's say we're at 50,000 in April, very probable, by the way. Then it's a 200,000 handle. And let's say we're at 60,000 by the time of the halving, then it'll be 240,000. The Mooch also predicts that in the long term, Bitcoin's price will hover close to $500,000. $500,000 Bitcoin. Send it, as he shares here. My long-term price target is that Bitcoin gets to easily half of the market cap of gold. Gold is now at 14.5 trillion. If Bitcoin goes to 7 or 8 trillion, that's a 10x from here. It's a $400,000 Bitcoin. And I think it would be ridiculous for people not to understand the asset, not to understand the dynamics of it as a store of value, and to not have a position. And to watch the actual interview he did with Scott Melker on his podcast, check the show notes below the video in the description. And let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with Scaramucci that on a conservative bull run for this rally, we can easily tap 170,000? And if we were to hit potentially price discovery levels of 69,000 or 60,000 range, we can climb and do another 10x from here, which would be 400,000 plus per coin. I personally feel, and I've shared my personal thoughts on where I feel the Bitcoin price will likely land for the cycle peak. I think it's most likely on a bearish scenario going to be 222,000. Bullish scenario, I can see 500,000. So right in alignment with what Scaramucci has to share with his bullish thesis, which would be $400,000 per coin. Also, typically every halving, which only occurs every 4 years, we tend to add a 0 to the end of the price action. And if we were to add a 0 to the end of today's price action, then we're discussing a $430,000 Bitcoin price. If we were to hypothetically add a 0 to the height of the previous cycle, which was November 10th of 2021 when we smashed 69,000, then you're discussing a $690,000 Bitcoin price. Anything is possible, unprecedented times. Something major and different from the previous cycle is the institutional FOMO. Clearly, we didn't have ETFs until January of this year, so that didn't exist previous cycle. Who knows how many Bitcoin will BlackRock, Fidelity, and these asset management juggernauts have in their possession by the time of the halving? For Christ's sake, they already have roughly 140,000 Bitcoin within their very first month, just those two asset management giants collectively. So that's pretty big. They could potentially have millions by then. Who knows? Anything is possible. And then when you start to factor in nation state adoption for 2024, 2025, we know more countries are going to be adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender. It's a coming because we know the work that Jan 3 founder Samson Mow has been doing, speaking with governments and political leaders, as well as presidents around the world, including the president of Colombia. That has a pretty massive population, discussing, who knows, Javier Milei could potentially make a Bitcoin a legal tender. I'm not so hopeful, but he's already made some changes for adoption of cryptocurrency in his country to recognize it and for it to be used. And then, Suriname already announced they're looking forward to putting 1% of their central bank reserves into Bitcoin. That's a small country just north of Brazil in South America. We also have talk of potentially Mexico. I know the senator over there, what's her name? Indira Kempis. Correct me, I'm probably saying her name wrong, but Indira Kempis, there we go. She's been discussing this as well with Samson Mow and some others. Then we have places like, besides Colombia and Mexico, Panama, potentially Costa Rica. There's a lot of countries, and we didn't even get into the African countries. We didn't even discuss the Middle Eastern countries. There's now ETF game theory playing out where we have Hong Kong, their first applicant submitted their application for the Bitcoin spot ETF. We also are going to have a Bitcoin spot ETF in El Salvador, which Max has talked about a few times in some tweets, which will be different from all the rest with Bitcoin in and Bitcoin out. And we're not even factoring in the sovereign wealth fund adoption. Qatar is sitting on a $500 billion sovereign wealth fund, and there's rumors they could be looking to convert some of that or all of that into the King crypto. So there's just so many catalysts that we didn't have in the previous cycles to make me believe that it is very realistic to smash some of these targets that we're talking about each and every day on the podcast. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, in the chat. I appreciate it. That's bullish 550 Gs. Send it. Oh, yeah, Korea's ETF. We discussed that yesterday as well. Meeting with Gary Gensler, of all people. Apparently, the South Korea regulators are working with the United States regulators to expedite an ETF out of Korea. So who's going to get the first Asian ETF? Will it be Hong Kong? Will it be Korea? I think it's going to be Hong Kong. Just because they're trying to make Hong Kong a crypto hub. You know what I mean? Your target, the Coin Father, cheers family, 125 to 200,000 the cycle. Can't wait. I'll be honest. Anything north of 100,000 is going to be a blessing for all of us. You know what I mean? Even just 100,000, 31,000 more from the previous all-time high is going to be such a blessing to all of us. So, prediction, the big boys will flood the price way down after the halving and hover them up off the weak hands. 30 to 35,000 is coming, says Mooncat. Then a massive bull run to 250. Is it possible? Yes, of course it's possible. 100% possible. The truth is we don't know how it's going to play out, but all these scenarios are very doable. I mean, we know the tendencies of the big dogs or powers that be is to always suppress the price and crash it so that their boys, for this example, BlackRock and Wall Street, can get in and get Bitcoin on the low before it runs up. And I don't underestimate our enemies. We could have another black swan event like we had in 2020, right? Panic, craziness. Remember, Bitcoin dumped all the way to 3,000 to 4,000 after COVID. And everyone wrote it off. And then, boom. By 2021, 69,000. Keep that in mind. Within a year time frame, we went from 3,000 to 4,000 Bitcoin. That was post-COVID. Every financial market was collapsing. A year later, by the end of 2021, 69,000. So you guys who bought that dip, kudos. I know I bought that dip. I bought as many Bitcoin as I could after the COVID crash. And I'm very glad I did. It's one of my best investments. After halving, don't expect same amount of pullback. Each halving, the pullbacks get smaller. Yeah, and also I think the higher the market cap gets, the less the pullbacks will be. I don't anticipate a 90% pullback for the cycle for the winter. Could be though 60%, maybe 70%, hopefully less, but just saying, be prepared. The SSD hard drive connect to the power once a year. The data can be lost in patches. Otherwise, it's stored as a charge. I meant after the bull top. Oh, right on, CoinFather. So you're saying after the bull top, that's your corrective price? I dig it. We can pump now? Yes. Workus. 60, 100, 500. Send it. Should I take out money out of Sheeb and add it to Doge? You guys, let me know. Doge or Sheep? I already know what Sailor would say.
Bitcoin. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset.
Facts. Pullback is caused by lack of liquidity, which is buying into the market time. There will be obviously a constant buying liquidity, so it'll be never go as long. Thanks for sharing on Matrix. So Freeman says Sheeb. No says Doge. Both Doge and Sheeb, says KJam. Add a 0. Please do add that 0. There's no second best. Capitalist, cheers. Neither Doge or Sheeb. You guys are funny. Good to get the feedback here. To the moon. Sheeb did a huge pump last crypto compared to Doge. So, yeah, let me know which one will likely outperform the other. Speculate. Just let me know. Pick one. My Milady name. Buy Milady meme. Is that a real meme? Like a coin? Milady. Low market cap. I stay away from the low market cap coins. But I guess those are where you can have the biggest 10 million X come ups. But also the most likely to get rugged and lose 99.99% of their value. So got to be careful. How about the third best? All right, here's my best. Bitcoin. Second best crypto? There is none. Second best asset? Maybe real estate? I don't know. I'm not too fond of the gold, really. Too controlled. Real estate can be taken away from you, but I guess if you structure it properly in trust and things of this nature, they make it more difficult to confiscate. But at least real estate is a usable asset. You can live in it or something like that. You know what I mean? Versus just being digital. So cheers, Mark. I appreciate the sub. And Matt, thanks for subbing. Thoughts on Quant? I'm bullish on it. I know it has a very limited supply, like very low. And I know the keyword there is interoperability. And I know there's a lot of big companies behind it. So I'm bullish on it, but I'm not a holder of it or anything. Not an investor. MSTR, nice. Tron, right on. What's Tron been doing? It's been quiet this cycle. What's Justin Sun been up to? Usually buying up companies. HR just subscribed. Thank you, HR. A buy order is waiting. 32,000 by Saudi cousins. In the meantime, ICP to $50 and Meta's down to 1K. Shout out to Mohammed and all our Saudi brothers in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Food, shelter, and water. There you go. Bullets and ammo. Bitcoin adds a 0 to every halving cycle. You only need to hodl through 2 cycles, which 10,000 investment to reach $1 million theoretically worked for me anyhow. Love to hear that, Nuck. Well said. Love Quant, says Kuz Dog. I own Quant. Nice. My broski is a holder of Quants, so that's why I'm a little familiar with that one. LimeWire. What's LimeWire? Is that like a crypto or is that a website? Sounds familiar, but I can't recall what it is. BitTorrent. Oh, okay. Tron has the best looking chart, hands down. Solana is also doing what she does best. She loves going down. Oh, low blow. I currently have multi-hard wallets just in case one is hacked. Yeah, I think it's good to have an extra with nothing on it in case something was hacked, and then you can recover it instantly before a hacker potentially does what they do. Napster. Old school. Man, I remember Napster. That's crazy. Some Bitcoin trolls always refer to Bitcoin as like The MySpace or the Napster. What happened to MySpace? But clearly comparing Bitcoin to MySpace is very ignorant. AI token, is that LimeWire? LMWR? MRC? Micro? What is that? MIRC, yo. Monero apparently was delisted from Binance. I can only think it was a political pressure. 100%. I shared that theory earlier. Clearly, they can't control or, I guess, trace the transactions. So regulators don't like that. Do you all remember loading your songs and making CDs for? Yeah. I bought a CD burner. Like, they were expensive back in the day. They kind of like big, kind of look like a DVD player, and you put in like the CD you want to burn, then you put the blank disc. And I remember like going to Staples or Office Depot or Best Buy, whatever, and you buy like the stack of like 500 discs or 100 discs. That was actually one of my businesses when I was in high school. I was selling CDs. I made up a list because I loved music, especially hip hop, and I had like every album you can think of. And I basically made a list on a piece of paper of all the albums, and then I'd sell like, I don't remember exactly. It may have been 3 for $12 or 3 for $15, where you can buy one CD at the store and pay, you know, hypothetically $15 or $20 for the CD, or I can burn them for you. It's going to play and be the same. It's just you're not getting a booklet and the whole case. You're just getting the disc in like a paper envelope. And I'd sell like maybe 3 for $15 or something like that. And then I would just burn CDs. And that was one of my businesses. Prior to that, as a younger entrepreneur, I used to slang candy in middle school. I would go to like the Sam's Club and I'd buy like all the blow pops where you get like a massive giant thing of them. I'd sell blow pops and pixie sticks. And I was clever. I would take the pen, you take the ink out of the pen and you shove the pixie stick in the pen. And then during the class, the teacher never knows you're on sugar all day. But yeah, that was my first business, slanging blow pops and candy. And then I got older, started slanging CDs. And it was actually not too bad of a business model because you had plenty of clients in the classroom who wanted some candy. I guess I am a pirate. Young pirate entrepreneur. No, I didn't have a music license. I was ripping CDs and slanging them. But anyways, fam, I appreciate y'all tuning in. We're going to continue with the uncensored version of the show on Rumble. So head on over to Rumble right now. There's always a link in the description, or you can just open the Rumble app, type in Crypto News Alerts, or go directly to the link, which is rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys later on the tube at 9 p.m. Eastern for the premiere. But we're going to end the YouTube stream, or we're going to continue with the uncensored version exclusive on Rumble. Head on over to Rumble. See you shortly, family.